who's next? Yeah, who's next? Who ride a greyhound all night long? Welcome to the C.L.I.M.B. This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. And we want you to win. This podcast exists because we want you to be educated on what's happening now, not what worked 10 years ago. We want you to be motivated. We want you to be inspired. Now is the best time to be an artist. It's the best time to be a songwriter because you have more access than you've ever had before. And you're going to need some leverage to get in that room. You're going to need some leverage to get that deal. You're going to need some leverage to get that manager. And this is what the show's about. It's why we called it the C.L.I.M.B, because it's an acronym, creating leverage in the music business. I'm sorry, it's an acronym, creating leverage in the music business. And the wordsmith on that one was my good buddy and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter. Brent is an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady Antebellum, Joe Nichols, and more. And he also helps songwriters turn pro by teaching the art, the craft, and the business of songwriting. And you can find Brent at songwritingpro.com. Once again, that's songwritingpro.com.
Hey, and I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. It's an innovative artist development company. They help you find your sound and they help you find your audience. Not only do they help you develop and improve your artistry, they also grow and monetize your fan base, creating cash flow. Yeah! Cash flow. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. By the way, Andy Griggs is a nutball, but I love him. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That's production, singular, no S. Why? Because there's only one Johnny D.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Man, I'm extra crispy, especially after that last episode. I'm done.
Me too, brother. My week it just doesn't end. Like it's only Tuesday, and I'm not complaining. I'm very blessed. I'm very happy, but I got a busy week. Mm-hmm. So good problems. That's right. But bless me. So let's get to it. Today's episode is 3 marketing tweaks that are going to expand your audience immediately.
Awesome. This sounds usable.
Very usable.
Sounds
actionable. That's right.
This sounds like this is going to, if they apply this stuff, I'm sure it's going to already pay back the cost of this podcast for them.
That's right. But before we get into that,
yes, we have a generous 5-star review that we want to share with you guys. So we appreciate you guys going into iTunes, Stitcher, wherever it is that you can leave a review. I don't tell your mama right on the bathroom stall on Broadway, Lower Broadway. That actually might be a great idea.
I'll see it.
Review.
I promise you.
Wherever you can. And so, going to iTunes and stuff, it helps raise our visibility so more people see the show, and we can help more people. And we want to help more people. So this is the title of this one is Excellent. And it's a 5-star review by Dirtmaster81. Dig it. All right. It's okay. Let me get ready. Okay, this is a long one. Great stuff. Awesome. Thank you, Dirtmaster81.
Yeah. I thought you were going to do the Jim Carrey thing.
Nope, that was the whole thing. But you know what? I agree with every part of it. Thank you very much,
that guy's a genius.
He got the dirt on us. That's for sure.
That guy's a genius, man.
It's also Sicemaster81. So, no, we do appreciate it. See, you don't have to get long-winded if you're not sure what to say. You can just give us however many stars you feel like we deserve, and then you can keep it brief. It's cool. We love it.
We'll still make you famous.
We love them all.
We'll still make you famous. So, hey, and by the way, if you like these podcasts, man, spread the word. We got a reputation. Spread it around, okay? Tell some people. Share it on social media when you see us post on our social media, and we think if you like it, there'll be some other people that would like it too. And of course, you'll look really cool if you're the one that turned them on to it. Like you're in the know, you're in.
They'll be like, I'm making so much more money because of this 3 tweaks that can massively improve my marketing. Thank you for turning me on to Johnny D. And you'd be like, cool.
So on that note, most great indie artists, they have incredible art, obviously, but experience challenges connecting to new fans because their marketing approach needs tweaking. And I notice I said new fans. And there's a healthy contingent of artists out there that are legitimately trying to market. Like, there's a healthy contingent of artists who are ignoring marketing, okay? And they're just like want to get the record deal.
They're not that healthy, or at least their careers aren't.
That's right. What I meant I meant the amount was healthy.
There's a healthy number of unhealthy careers.
Healthy, There's a healthy number of unhealthy careers of people that think they're going to make a demo and get a record deal. But they're just naively going about the marketing in the wrong way. So if you've been spending time on marketing and you've been kind of hitting a brick wall, here's some tips here that we're going to touch base on that might get you back on track and get you into a place of growth, into some traction, okay? A keen understanding of marketing is exactly what will put the power in your hands. And when you put that power in your hands, you guys, I promise you, it's like more than you can possibly imagine. Yes, you, the artist, can hold all the cards if you simply make a few tweaks in your philosophy and the way that you think about marketing. So I wanted to provide some clarity to indie music marketing in this particular podcast. So the first thing is that indie artists must understand, as basic as this is, the difference between distribution marketing. Distribution is iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, CD Baby, Bandzoogle, Deezer, Amazon Music, Slacker. This is where people go to consume your music or to purchase your music.
It's where your music is distributed.
That's right. That's where I can go to find it, right?
Yep.
But marketing is why they're going to go there. So that's the key. So putting your songs up on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, all these places, that's distribution. And think about this. You probably made a purchase on Amazon. They're a distributor, but you didn't buy that product because it was on Amazon.
Oh, I have to get it. It's on Amazon.
Right. It's not like you spend your day just shopping randomly through stuff on Amazon looking for stuff to buy. You're looking for something. Right?
Listen, if it's in Walmart, I probably need it. So I'm gonna get it.
Exactly. Right.
And I'll figure out what I need it for later.
That's right. That's true, too. Or more than that, like Costco. Like, I've never come out of Costco like less than $250 lighter.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
But
it's good stuff.
You weren't just randomly shopping, scrolling through Amazon web pages, and you came across some shiny thing that made you pull out your credit card. No, you were there. You were marketed to first. So the marketing, the decision, your purchase decision was already changed in your mind, and then you decided, where do I want to get that? My favorite place? Amazon, right? Or maybe it's Nordstrom, or maybe it's iTunes, or whatever. But you choose your favorite place. That's where you decide to go and make the purchase, but you decided to make the purchase through the marketing.
Yeah, so, now this may be different from stuff like, oh my gosh, I got a plumbing problem and I need a P-trap, so I'm going to go find one. Music's not like that. Like, oh my gosh,
right.
I'm fresh out of jams. Right. Let me go find a jam. Gotta go find. Where's the jam store? Where's the National Jam Company? And I'm going to go find it. It's probably not that way.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Or not enough to build a career on.
Yeah,
because I've done that. I've back when it was all record stores, CDs, whatever. I would go out and like, I got an itch. I got to go buy some new album, and I don't care if I've not heard them before. I got to go buy some music because I need some new input. You know, I've done that.
So let me ask you a question.
I've stumbled upon some cool stuff.
When you did that, were you just sort of thumbing through the records and the CDs, or did you have a relationship with the guy at the store?
No, this was some of it was just looking at the packaging.
Okay.
Seeing if it had the vibe from, they can't catch a sound from a picture in a magazine, as Billy Joel said.
Right.
But, off the CD jacket or whatever, sometimes, I would go experiment. But I'm a writer. I'm looking for input. I'm looking for, and I'm a music junkie. And so I did that some. And I've stumbled across some cool stuff. I've stumbled across stuff that ended up not being cool.
Yeah.
But, not knowing much. Or it would be maybe some artists that had some awareness of, but didn't really know their stuff. Like, I'll take a chance on this record. this new guy Tracy Bird or something like that.
And you are in the so you're almost like a tastemaker. You're in the you're like 0.1% of the music consuming world. Is where you reside. You're like Tommy Doucette from the Allman Brothers. Tommy,
I'll take it.
Excuse me. Tommy's the harmonica player from the Allman Brothers. He's on Fillmore East, and good friend of mine. But he grew up with Greg and Dwayne, and he was the kid on the block that had all the records. He was the kid on the block that turned Greg on like Bobby Blue Blands, and they were like, wow, Hold on.
Bless you.
Oh my gosh, I got to sneeze on deck so bad. But that's not what more normal people do. Like for me, now I'm a music junkie too, and I bought tons and tons and tons of records throughout my years, but I never walked into a record store without knowing exactly where I was going.
What, sound unheard? Yeah. Yeah,
like walking in going, do you have it, where's the new blah, blah, blah? I go and get it. Now, in my town where I grew up, like there was two, in Whitewater and in Delavan, Wisconsin, or Whitewater and Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, there were two like sort of little mom and pop record shops, And so I would go in there and I had relationships with the two people that worked in there because I was in there a lot buying records. And so they kind of knew me and they're like, hey, Johnny, like they knew I loved Mother Love Bone. And that's how I got turned on to Pearl Jam because that is Mother Love Bone with a new singer,
They were the recommendation engine. Yeah. Before there was one on Amazon.
Exactly. So, but most people, they didn't walk into a record store, and just about 99.9% of all people don't go to Spotify just to find something new. They're going there to find their jam, and
they suffer through something new because they don't have unlimited skips because they're doing the free version.
There you go. And if it's a playlist, right? If it's a playlist, and the way that this has to work is, for instance, in that Amazon product example, is that you were marketed to first. You were made aware of the product. Then somehow your buying decision was influenced enough to want to purchase it. That's marketing. Then you chose to go to Amazon to get it. That's distribution, right? Big difference in there. And so I think a lot of people misconstrue those. So we have to keep that straight. And I want you to think about marketing your music with that story in mind. Like, what is going to get people excited enough to learn more about you and your music? Putting all your original music up on YouTube is distribution.
Right.
That's not marketing, that's distribution. Big difference there. I think I just put a lot of wind in a lot of people's sails. Oh, man, I've been doing that forever. Nobody watches it. That's right.
Right. Because that's where they go watch it. It's not why they go watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. And the only people who are going to experience that music are already aware of you as an artist. Friends, family, whatever fans you may already have. And this approach is not getting you into growth. So marketing your music is just about making sure that your current fans are aware of any new releases, right? That in that manner. But marketing for indie artists especially has to be about finding new people to expose your music to. So how, now we're asking the right question, right? Like, okay, so how am I going to get in front of a bunch of people that never heard of Johnny D if they want to hear my song, right?
Yep.
So as ridiculously elementary as that sounds, to some of you, if not most of you, but still you're not using these tools that you currently have in the correct manner to grow your audience. And I see it every day with almost all my indie artists as well as signed artists. By the way, I would venture to tell you right now that like 75% of my roster, if not the whole roster of artists that I have under Daredevil, have better, stronger social media and better, stronger relationships within those social media platforms than every signed artist that isn't famous.
A signed artist that isn't famous.
Which is 90% of artists, right? That are signed.
Yeah.
So let that soak in for a second. That's frightening, right? So they don't get it either. And the labels don't understand it. So you're coming by this honestly, but this is where we differentiate. This is why we're good, okay? So one slight tweak in your approach on YouTube going to change everything. Okay, post a video of you interpreting a cover of a popular that's popular right now, a cover song that's popular right now. Because that cover song is going to generate traffic, And the traffic, well, they're going to be looking for the brand new Taylor Swift song that just dropped yesterday or 2 days ago. You just did a cover of it. They're going to stumble across you, and you're going to get a small amount of that traffic, and they're going to watch you. And then they're going to love you or they're going to hate you. But you're in front of somebody new, and as long as you're putting the end cards on your YouTube, right? So they have an opportunity at the end to subscribe to your YouTube channel to get a free download so you can own the information and watch another video. If they happen to love you, then you're getting yourself into growth, right? And this can't be a cover song that's an old and crusty cover song that's one of your favorite songs that you always wanted to sing, because again, there's no traffic going to that original artist's video, so you're not the only people that are going to see that. Are people that are already aware of you. So again, not something that gets you into growth. So, cover songs, big deal. And I've spoken about this, but I'll blow your mind. Because right now, there's a lot of people going, well, I don't want to be known as a cover artist, so I'm not going to do that, Johnny. That's crap. But, Brent, do you think of Led Zeppelin as a cover artist?
I do not.
Beatles?
I do not.
Stones?
Wait, I'm not familiar. I
think you'd recognize them if I said the Rolling Stones. How about this? Miranda Lambert, Blake Shelton, Chris Young, Carrie Underwood. Are they cover artists? No. How did they?
They're covered artists.
Yeah. How did the latter half of those come into our awareness? Singing cover songs on TV. They weren't singing originals. The old school bands, the Beatles, the Stones, and Led Zeppelin, they're all British bands. So this makes sense. In America, we only knew them as original artists, but first Led Zeppelin record was a blues record, a cover record. First Beatles record, cover record. First two Stones record, except for 3 songs, were all covers, and that they were released on Decca in England. So so we wouldn't have had that experience unless you're deep in the business and you know it. But they did covers first. Come on,
yeah. I remember watching the premiere episode of Nashville Star. It was probably 2002, 2003, something like that. Remember where I was living. I was over in West Nashville, living at my uncle's mother-in-law's house. So it was like my first year in Nashville. And I remember this Nashville Star show was coming on. And I remember Miranda Lambert walking out. I think she had pigtails or something. Yep. And I can't remember exactly what song she did the first time. It was like an older country song. But I was like, wow.
Blew you away, right?
Whatever it was. I'm like, there's something about that girl.
Okay, so this brings me to the next point.
She got something. And then I remember her later, she did Hurt So Good. I remember her doing that on the first season Nashville Star. And by the way, she came in third. But I knew the songs, but there was something about her that was just star power. The it thing, immediately you're like, oh, wow. So
we did not rehearse this. Rehearse this. But this is exactly my next point, is that when you do a cover that's popular right now, because that's, on TV it's different, right? Where's the audience coming from? They're watching the TV network, and they're going to watch that show. So whatever cover songs you pick on a TV show aren't going to affect the traffic. Right? They're going to affect how people like you or not like you, and you can pick the wrong song for your career. But TV's different than YouTube. YouTube, the traffic comes from the new releases.
Right.
Okay? So just understand that differentiation.
Because they're searching for specific songs. They're not searching for, like I was searching for Nashville Star.
Exactly right.
Whatever that contained.
Exactly.
I was searching for the show. And since you're doing individual songs, people are on there looking for individual songs. So yes, go ahead.
Right. So Carrie Underwood on American Idol, it doesn't matter what song she sings, there's still going to be the same amount of people watching American Idol. Right. But what song you sing on YouTube is going to be the difference between zero traffic and, Bailey James got a video, completely organic, 125,000 views. She's 14 years old. But here's to your point, Brent, because this is something that I really wanted to hit on. Artists, when you do the cover, and it's happening now, yes, you get the traffic, so people are going to come over and you're going to start building that up week after week after week, and you have to be consistent with it. But not only are the people that are watching that cover experiencing your spin on a song that they already are familiar with, they're doing it because they know the song already, So subconsciously, their focus is really on your artistry, on your interpretation of it. That's what blew your mind about Miranda Lambert, because she's freaking amazing. She is, by and large, I mean, I've had this conversation with several people in the last 3 weeks, like the closest thing to a real freaking artist that we have in country music. Like, I mean, like from the song, like she co-writes everything. Like, it's so, that double record, Weight of These Wings. Unbelievable. I've listened to that so many times. It's so good.
And the thing about Miranda was, I mean, of course, I didn't know about her writing or any of that stuff. She just had some sort of that magnetism that was just like, it's compelling to watch.
Yeah.
She was like 19, I think, at the time, something like that.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, there's something there. So I didn't know about her, the writer that she is and all that stuff. It was just...
That was still part of the onion you hadn't peeled yet.
Exactly, yeah. But the magnetism was popping.
So if you're good on YouTube, people are going to respond. And not for nothing, like you're going to, by doing this important work, by doing this weekly work, you're going to find things that people respond to you that you weren't aware of that you possessed. They're going to say, oh, I like it when you do this. I like it when you do that. And you're like, well, I don't know what that was, right? But they're going to point out stuff that they really like about you. And if you're reading it very carefully, you're going to find some really good feedback in there. And if you ask them, they'll subscribe. And if you're smart, you'll give them a free download in exchange for their email address, so you own the information. We'll get to more on that later. So the more that they learn to like you on YouTube, because they want to hear what you're going to do next with the next cover, because you have artistry, because you can sing, because you can emote, because you can communicate as an artist, then they'll be far more likely to listen to your original music when they do listen. And you're always getting in front of new people. It's just a big old funnel, right? You get in front of 4,000 new people every video, a couple people are going to subscribe. And it just grows, and those people really like you because they subscribed, and that just grows. Right. The next thing you know, a year later, you're like, holy crap, I got 4, 5, 10,000 people subscribing, and if you own that information, you're on your way. This is marketing on YouTube. Okay, this is how to use YouTube as a marketing tool. So that's the tweak. It's just a simple tweak, and if you think about it, it's no different than American Idol or The Voice, right? We talked about where the traffic's coming from here. So to market on social media means getting your content in front of new people that aren't currently aware of you. And this requires a different thought process and execution and strategy than what you're currently doing in social media, which is probably what you see your idols do, right? What does Miranda do on Twitter and Instagram, and Carrie, and what does, Brett, what's his face do? I mean,
Eldridge,
Brett Eldridge, like
Michaels.
Eldridge. Like, so these guys are famous. These are famous artists. They have their audience, and they are so they're marketing to their audience through social media. Don't get me wrong. But what they're doing is they're servicing, again, the audience that they already have. What they do on social media isn't necessarily getting them into growth, right? But they don't necessarily...
Unless you're like a Blake Shelton or someone that is putting out like tweets and stuff that are funny and shareable. Like, I'd share it even if it weren't Blake. Like, that may help someone, but he's so well known. But that kind of thing.
That's the thing. I mean, with him, he's The Voice. He's so famous now.
Right.
It's like he could fart and people would share it.
Yeah. But if it were more of an unknown artist that is sharing really funny, pithy kind of things.
Well, that's content marketing.
That would be right. Could help expand. But yeah, most of the people probably aren't doing stuff that.
Right. So here's another tweak. So social media, instead of like, so what Brent's touching on is good because that's content. Like, and we're constantly trying to do this at Daredevil. Like, how can we understand our artists better? How can we get closer to their tone? And what can we put out that would be like really fascinating, that would be shareable, right? That other people would say that resonates with me, and so I'm going to be cool if I share that because that's going to make me look cool. Yep. And then they go and they do that. And that's part of the content marketing factor of it. And that gets you into growth. That's good. As opposed to just backstage shenanigans, stuff like that. That's cool. Certainly on social media with, if we sort of differentiate it from YouTube, you can take those clips of those cover songs that you do, 1-minute clips, and put them on Twitter and put them on Instagram. You should be doing that in between your content so that people understand that you're an artist and they can see what you're doing. And that's cool. But so how do you get into growth on social media though, right? So take off your artist hat, put on a record label executive hat for just a second, and you just signed the greatest baby act in the world, the greatest baby artist in the whole world, you. But so we don't get confused here, we're going to call you MC X Factor, okay?
Nice.
That's your artist. So
I still have the parachute pants from MC X Factor in the 80s.
But nobody knows about this new artist, so how are you going to get MC X Factor in front of a new targeted group of people who will probably like that artist's music? So let's say that, let's just say, you're a rap artist. We named you MC X Factor. So the way that you start thinking about this is, there's tons of rap artists out there, and they've got faithful followers on their social media accounts, right? But drill down some more. What kind of rap artist is MC X Factor exactly? Is it hip-hop? Is it rap? Is it like gangster rap? Is it, and I don't speak intelligently on the different subgenres of rap, but,
right.
if
left-handed biologist rappers.
Yeah, right. There's like Christian rappers now. I just saw two guys that were like hip-hop Christian rappers that were crazy. I guess they were hip-hop. They were hip-hop.
I went
fascinating.
To a holy hip-hop conference like with NSAI several years ago.
Really?
It was awesome. It was here in town. And there were some guys there. What was his name? One guy had his album was called Hope Dealer.
Oh, nice.
He's Hope Dealer. Another one. Love the title was Hallelujah at Your Boy.
Hallelujah at your boy.
Hallelujah at your boy.
Oh, nice, man. Did you see
awesome.
Did you see a set of twins there, by the way?
I don't know. It's been a while.
Okay, I got to turn on
some
these
good
guys.
people. It was fun.
So listen, find the subgenre, right, and just pretend this. If money and connections were no object at all, if you could pick up the phone and get a hold of anybody that you wanted, what rap artist would you put MC X Factor on tour with? Because the headliner's audience would relate to MC X Factor's music. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So don't look now, but you're in the process of defining your artist's audience, and that's what you have to do. You have to determine who they are first, right, all the way down to the subgenre. And then once you've determined exactly who they are, you've got to find out where they hang out, and then you go there. That's called targeting, okay? And then MC X Factor would absolutely, let's say he would crush it on tour with Lil Wayne, right, because his fans would love your artist's music. Let's say MC X Factor's got real heady rhymes and stuff like Lil Wayne. Like I don't know if you've read some of his stuff, but he's like a freaking poet, dude. He's mind-blowing. Like some of the stuff that he comes up with is hysterical. And I mean like hysterical, like I can't believe it's that creative. It's genius. But then if you start following those people on Instagram and start following those people on Twitter that follow Lil Wayne, some of them are going to follow you back. And then if you've got good content on there, like we talked about them first, but you love them first. You've got to love them first. Do something nice for them. We talked about a few episodes back, much to my dismay, the most popular episode we've ever had, because it's not mine and I'm competitive. But why you're screwing up Facebook because you're not loving them first, right? Like you got to go in and give before you take. So love them first, follow them first, look at their feed, comment on a couple pictures, and be honest about it, and start that relationship. And you reach out and shake hands and say hello. If you want to sell 10,000 records, you got to meet 10,000 people and shake 10,000 hands, even if it's a proverbial online handshake. A decent percentage of these people are going to follow you back, and they're going to hang out if you've got, back to Brent's point, interesting content. Don't try and slam your mixtape down your throats or your demo. Certainly, for the love of all that is holy, tell them to check you out and discover you with a link to frickin' iTunes, okay?
Right.
Nobody's going to iTunes to spend 99 cents to find out that you suck.
Right.
Not going to do it, okay? I get asked that every day, Brent. You get asked that every day.
I mean, I'm busy. I don't have time to go clicking on videos to hear 3 minutes of something.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll do it if I find a couple extra minutes and I'll respond, but
Yeah, but it's hard, especially if it's just some randomness, some person I don't have any other context for or relationship with.
Yeah.
Because that time's going to go to people I'm interested in. It's going to go to people in my Songwriting Pro group, Facebook group, or in the C.L.I.M.B group, or in the Freddie group, that kind of stuff.
I mean, when Tim McGraw or Jay-Z or AC/DC or Lady Gaga, or Jennifer Lopez says available now on iTunes, go and buy it. They've already got a brand name. There's a boatload of people that are waiting to purchase that. You don't have a brand name. You don't have a reason for them to trust you or to go and find out who you are, and they're certainly not going to pay to do it. And you've never paid in your whole life to discover a new artist. Mm-hmm. You heard them on the radio. You heard them from a friend who turned you on to them. But you found out about that artist first, and then you dove in. You saw them on TV, and then you got in. You started becoming a consumer and purchasing their stuff. So don't go for the throat, man. It's not going to work. You don't have a relationship. You got to build that. How do you build that relationship? Well, when they follow you back, ask them a question. Thank them for following you back, and go look on that feed again. Ask them a question from a picture about them. Mm-hmm. Not, how's the weather? How are you doing today? I get that all the time, by the way. Probably like 3 times a day. I mean, I'm working, bing, it'll pop up on Facebook. Hey, Johnny.
I get some of that too.
Hello, like, how are you?
Oh yeah, I've gotten like one time 3 messages, 3 direct messages or whatever on Facebook. Hey, hello.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, how are you? I'm sure you're.
Yeah, I'm like, out. I'm like, get to the point, man. I'm out. I'm
like, yeah. How you doing? I just want to write back, gassy. How are you?
Yeah.
Little gassy.
What's
up with you?
I just sharted. I'm gonna go.
I gotta go. Oh,
but if you do this, by the way, if you're, let's say that you're following, in the example of Lil Wayne, you're following Lil Wayne, and you've already got a common theme. You've already got a common. You know that they like Lil Wayne. You like Lil Wayne, right? And so why not bust out? Ask them a question about them, get the conversation started, and then direct the conversation towards Lil Wayne. It only takes an exchange or two to do that. And if you at least focus on the first exchange about them, it's going to create a solid first impression. This is creating a relationship with somebody new. This is getting you into growth. Okay? And you all are, perfectly happy. Everybody's like, oh, it's so embarrassing, and I feel uncomfortable reaching out and talking to somebody that I don't know, and then blah, blah, blah. But then every single day I see everybody bitching about politics, their personal lives, on social media platforms to people who don't give a crap. Like, you don't care when you're passionate about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get people that reach out to me on Facebook all the time, like, oh, I'm blind in one eye, I can't see out of the other, I'm really sick, like, life is terrible. I'm like, hello, what's your name? Like, who is this? Like,
oh yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, but what am I supposed to do? Like, people do this all the time. Guys, just start a conversation with the person. You go to a club, you meet somebody the first time, get over it. You're an artist. Your job is to connect and to communicate. You better figure it out. The brooding artist in the corner doesn't work online.
Right. Well, it's that I've heard that, the old story, like, 2 people meet and person A is just, asking question of person B. Hey, person B, where you from? Oh man, I've heard about that place. It's great. Tell me more about it. Oh, you work there? Yeah, tell me about that. And all this stuff. You just ask them all these questions. Person A is asking all these questions of person B, and just kind of they're the focus of the conversation. You have a nice chat. They walk away, and person B goes, man, I had such a good conversation with that person.
Yeah.
With person A. Didn't find out anything about person A, but they're like, that was a really nice conversation. I like that person.
Yeah. And these are,
because we talk about my favorite subject.
Me. Right? Yeah. These are baby steps. You're not going to wake up 48 hours from now with 10,000 more followers for doing this, but they add up over time. Mm-hmm. And these little gains make a big difference. And the bigger your social media grows, and the more you engage with that audience, the more attractive you become to potential new fans and to the industry, by the way, to the music industry. We've gotten in doors we never would have gotten in with Bailey James this early in her journey because something's going on online with her. Yeah. And that's because they did exactly what I told them to do.
Well, because it was, hey, I got this 14-year-old girl. She sings great.
Yeah, every day. Every day they hear that.
Yeah.
And it's from the mom, or from the dad.
No, stand over here. The sky is blue over here.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll just stand on my porch and the sky's blue over here too. Yeah.
So the third tweak here, guys, and we'll wrap this up real quick, is you must own the contact information. What are you doing to ensure that you own everyone's contact information after they've experienced your live show? Nothing.
Most likely.
We talked about a big band that's got a big deal that's spent an obscene amount of money on radio and still nobody knows who they are. I've seen pictures of that band and they're playing in front of like 5,000 people. And I'm just like, having a heart attack. Like the things I could do with that band. Just give me 10 minutes with them and I will have... Like there'll be a lot of people that will know them and remember them because we'll get the information, be able to reach out. They won't walk away going, "What's the name of the band again?" I don't know. What's
we talked
band?
about it before. It's like you met somebody out, good looking. I didn't get her name or her phone number.
Right.
Or I got her name, but I don't have her phone number. Yeah. Dang it.
Or she wrote on your hand, but you got sweaty at the end of the night.
You got sweaty. You're right. It's like You didn't get the ditches. She left. She was your fan, right? Oh, we hit it off and she's gone. I hope she can find me later. Yeah, well, that's not where you want to be.
Not going to happen. She's not going door to door to find out where you live, man.
No.
Yeah. So you guys, you've got to. Step one is social media. You've got to own it though, so that you can reach out as frequently as you want for free. You may have 100,000 followers on Instagram, but they're not yours. They're Instagrams. Mm-hmm. They're there for you, but Instagram's going to make sure you got to go through them to get it. So these are clever ways to make this happen. You set up a squeeze page. You take text capture when you're doing a live show. Man, if you do a live show and you crush it, you're playing in front of people and you're not walking away with throngs of email addresses or device IDs or telephone numbers from text capture, you're high. You're wasting an opportunity, Mm-hmm. You don't own your social media contacts. So social media and YouTube are amazing vehicles to target audiences and to connect with them and to showcase your talent, by the way, and also good content. But you need to take that next step and own it. And Facebook doesn't allow very few people to see your posts unless you pay. And mm-hmm. Frankly, the same thing's going to happen with Instagram, as with Twitter, as with Snapchat, as with every other social media platform mm-hmm. that comes up, because that's what they're there to make money, Super inexpensive to set this technology up, but it's the behavior modification. You got to remember, you get so jacked up for your show and you're so mm-hmm. excited, but you forget to ask, man. You can't forget to ask. You get so jacked up when you're doing media interviews, you forget to ask. You forget to tell them, I'm just so happy to be here. Can I do something nice for your listeners? Yeah, awesome. Here's what we're going to do, Mm-hmm. What this owning the information is the first step in permission marketing. And permission marketing, in a sentence, is the business strategy that works for every other business outside the music industry, by the way. So it'll work in the music industry too. But it's the strategy that the lifetime value of a fan is worth exponentially more than the 99 cents or the $10.99 that the music industry would have you shake them down for right now. Mm-hmm. Right? So instead of pounding them to go to YouTube or iTunes and get your music for 99 cents and get your single, give it to them for free and get their contact mm-hmm. information and blow their mind and create a relationship.
So like a long-term girlfriend that you really love is more valuable than a one-night stand you don't get her name.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And by the way, you can't get back out to them. You can't reach. Exactly. This is why the legacy artist market exists. This is why there's artists with multi-million-dollar brand names that only sell a few thousand records when they put it out now, because they're not on the radio anymore and they don't have a multi-million-dollar budget. What was the multi-million-dollar budget designed to do? Reach everybody and let them know mm-hmm. the new record is out. Because it doesn't spread like wildfire. Nobody cares. Even with the stars. They care about themselves. If they love that star, they'll get it for themselves. But they're not going to go on a campaign and become a street team member to, tell them Tim McGraw's new record's out with Faith Hill. It's up to the record label to do that, and it's up to you to be your own record label. So that's all I have to say about that. 3 tweaks, guys. Get into growth in YouTube. Make sure that when you're making videos that it's actually going to generate traffic. Make sure when you're jamming on social media that you're getting in front of new people and not just trying to hope that it'll magically expand with every show. Go out there and find them, meet them, say hello, love them first, start a conversation back and forth, send them some, make them laugh. You make them laugh like you make your friends laugh. They're going to start to think you're cool. They're going to start to go look at your content, and then they're going to dig it. When they say one nice thing about you, you're like, man, you know what? I like you. Here's a free download. Just because I think you're cool. And then boom, just like that, And if you got your act together on social media, you got some professional images and you got a slamming track, and then you do that whole thing first, so their first impression is like you're a friend, that you're somebody cool, and they would like you, and then you give them that track and you sound like a national artist. And they see they see you doing little performances, and you can perform like a pro artist, then they think you probably got a deal. Then they think you should have a deal if you don't have one already, and they will line up behind you. They will line up behind you and love you. So, and then the third thing is capture that information, guys. You must capture the information. That's all there is to it. This is what Amazon does, the airlines, your grocery store. I could go on and on and on. Everybody you do business with has your information and probably your credit card number. This is where the music industry is going, even though most people in the music industry don't know that now, but I digress. Anyway, guys, that's the end of another killer the C.L.I.M.B episode. As always, you can get my free best-selling Twitter book. It teaches you how to gain 1,000 new followers to get yourself into growth every single month. It's at 15 minutes a day. That same code that's in the Twitter book works on Instagram, so it's worth it. It's free. You can get it at giftfromjohnny.com, Johnny, giftfromjohnny.com. Also, if you are in... if you need, a lot of times it's just the personal touch is all that's missing. And you've been trying to put all this stuff together. It's a lot of information to kind of get all these pistons firing at the same time and in the right order. And you need some guidance. So I'm available to you for consulting. Reach out at info@daredevilproduction.com. Once again, production is singular. There is no S. info@daredevilproduction.com. And let me know, and we'll set up a time. I'll look at all your social media. I'll look at your web. If you have a web store, I'll look at that. If you don't, I'll tell you need to get one. And we'll put together a very personalized strategy of what you need to do to get yourself into growth and to start meeting some new people. I do charge for that. It's not too expensive, guys. Not for what you're going to get. It really isn't. It's not $5,000 an hour or anything crazy like that. It's just $150 an hour. Make it happen. You'd be amazed at what we can do in less than 2 hours. So with that, guys, again, this podcast exists because we want you to win. There's lots of great informational, motivational, educational content on here. Share it. Leave a rating and review. Please subscribe to the podcast. We want to see you make a living. So we'll keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.
I almost said yours.
Yeah, you did.